We've got a business function here which requires us to make two linear graphs and find the intersection. So remember, if I need to make a linear graph, then I'm using y equals mx plus c. And if I need to find the intersection, then I'm using simultaneous equations. So here are the two skills that I need to make sure I've got going for this question. Now, first of all, we've got a gas paying method where there's a fixed charge of $25 per quarter and 50 cents per unit. Remember, when we deal with mx plus c, the m, the gradient, stands for the rate and the c is the starting point. So if I write down here y equals mx plus c, then I remember, let's do method 1 in green, then my m will be my rate and my c, my y-intercept, is my start. Now here it says I have to pay $25 per quarter, so every 3 months I'm paying $25. That's my start, so therefore that's my c. 50 cents per unit of gas, that's my rate. For every unit I need to pay 50 cents, so that's my m. So that means for method A, I'm going to have an equation of y equals 0.5x. The reason I'm doing 0.5 is because 50 cents in dollars is $0.5. And my start is 25. So therefore my equation for method A is going to be y equals 0.5x plus 25. Now if I do method B, and let's do that in orange, then my start is $50 and my rate is going to be 25 cents. So for method B, I'm going to end up with y equals, my rate is 0.25 times x, plus my start is $50. So that's my equation for method B. Now, the question says I need to graph both plans and then determine which one is cheaper at what point in time. So the first thing I need to do is graph, and then I need to find the intersection. So let's do that. So now here are my perfectly drawn axes, and of course I will label them. So I'm going to call it y and x. If I wanted to, of course, I could say y was going to be my cost in dollars, and x is my units of gas. So I could do that to make it correct as well. So my first one says that my y-intercept is 25. Remember, I'm going to do this in green. So my y-intercept here will be 25. And my gradient is 0.5. And what I could do is I could work out some point that's going to be on this line. But let's just call this point 0 and 25, because I know that's my y-intercept. The orange line is going to have a y-intercept at 50, so I'm going to put that there. Now this is where I'm cheating a little bit, but you'll see what I do. What happens is one line is going to go up like this, and another line is going to go up like this, and there's going to be a point somewhere out here where they meet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find where they meet. Remember, any time I make a linear line on a graph, I need 2 points. We're going to use my y-intercept point and the point where they meet, which might be somewhere out here, to find out the second point. So I'm going to go to my simultaneous equations function. Remember, I'm in Maths 1 and I go to this curly bracket with the 2 rectangles. Now, I click go and I'll enter my equations here. Y, let's do it. Y equals 0.5x plus 25, and the other one will be y equals 0.25x plus 50. I'm going to solve them for x and y and press go, and I find out that x is 100 and y is 75. So both lines are going to pass through this point of 175. So now what I can do is I can get out my ruler, because of course I always rule my lines. So I'll get out my ruler and then I'll rule both of my lines. So here is my green one, carefully ruled. Let's try again, shall we? Carefully ruled to go through the point. And that's that one. And my next line is going to be my orange line, which again, I will carefully rule to go through the point. And if I really want to make the examiner fall in love with me, I'll label my lines. So this one is y equals 0.25x plus 50. And the green one is y equals 0.5x plus 25. Bit hard to see, but that's how it goes. So now I know that I've graphed the two plans by using 2 points from each plan, and now the number of units that must be used before graph B becomes cheaper than graph A. I come down here and looking at my x-intercept, my orange plan becomes cheaper after 100 units. So I'll say B is cheaper. Oh, I can't even spell there. Let's try that again. Cheaper when the units exceed 100 units. And there's my answer.